Coming up on City Beat, some of our favorite stories of 2017. Ground is broken on the new stadium for the Las Vegas Raiders. Join us for the ceremony, looking forward to an exciting future for the city and the team, yet not forgetting the tragedy we had suffered so recently. Plus, some Las Vegas students are treated to a trip to Zion National Park. See their priceless reactions to mountains, trees, and animals many were seeing for the first time. And if you dare, meet some new inhabitants on Fremont Street. We'll take you through this new attraction that will have you face to disintegrating face with The Walking Dead. Hi, everybody, and welcome to City Beat. I'm your host, Nancy Byrne, and we are coming to you from the KCLV TV studios. The reason we are kicked back here is because we're going to take a look back at some of our favorite stories of 2017, as we do at the end of every year. Now, these are not necessarily the most important stories of the year, but stories that stood out to us. The other reason we're here, see that trophy case behind me? One of the great things that happened for us here at Channel 2 is we won another Emmy. It was for our half-hour special called Ending Homelessness, A Light at the End of the Tunnel. It was a project that just about everybody in the station had a hand in. Something else big that happened this year, groundbreaking for Raiders Stadium. It was a great groundbreaking ceremony held November 13th that looked forward to the excitement of us being their new hometown and a look back at the tragedy we had just suffered on October 1st. You might think a groundbreaking ceremony celebrating a new stadium for a new NFL team would be fireworks, marching bands, and cheerleaders. But when people gathered to celebrate the groundbreaking for the Raiders' new stadium in their new hometown, organizers displayed the class and graciousness of remembering this is also a town that suffered a tremendous tragedy on October 1st. As Judith Hill and the Las Vegas House of Blues Gospel Choir opened the ceremony, 58 beams of light filled the night sky, remembering the 58 victims of the shooting at the Route 91 Harvest Festival. A performance perhaps not expected, but one that brought everyone to their feet. Our city's unified spirit displayed during and after the tragic shooting remained a theme throughout the ceremony, starting with Mark Davis, the owner of the Raiders since his legendary father died in 2011.
For the Raiders to be successful and ultimately win, it takes teamwork. Nowhere has the notion of teamwork been better displayed or more evident than in Las Vegas on the evening of October 1st, 2017, when, with the world watching, Mayor Carolyn Goodman, County Commissioner Steve Sisolak, Representative Dina Titus, Sheriff Joe Lombardo, their staffs, all the first responders, emergency health care workers, and local citizenry seamlessly worked together to bring a sense of safety and security to a situation that without teamwork could have resulted in chaos. The Raiders are proud and honored to be joining such a special team.
The Master of Ceremony, George Lopez, took over, and while the 58 beams of light remained in the background, the mood took a lighter turn.
I am a tremendous Raider fan. I've always been. I let my hair go a magnificent combination of the silver and black.
Nevada Governor Brian Sandoval kicked off the distinguished list of speakers.
Now it's real, right? Yeah. This is one of the most transformative moments, I believe, in the history of Las Vegas.
He went on to share a story of how he knew dealing with this team, he was dealing with tradition and dignity. It culminated in a moment with Mark Davis.
You know, and I'll share just a quiet moment that I had with Mark in Carson City. And he's told this story over and over again. And we looked each other in the eye, and we shook hands, and we said, this is a deal. And we're both men of our word. And Mark Davis is a man of integrity, and he's a man of his word, and I cannot wait until the Raiders come to Las Vegas because of you.
This community has a clear vision, which is a tribute to the political and business leadership. Relentless, determined, and laser focused. And labor focused too, by the way, guys. There you go.
Then it was the first of two groundbreaking ceremonies that would take place on this night.
These are the first of many shovels that will build this magnificent stadium. Let's commemorate this with a photo of the three guys. The Raiders have found a home.
then the first of two videos that would play.
For generations, Las Vegas and the Raiders have cultivated legacies all their own.
Which team, by colors alone, is identifiable around the world? By slogan, commitment to excellence. All those things are the Raiders.
Pioneers and innovators in their own right.
The video included a sneak peek of what our world-class stadium will look like. Then the president of the Raiders took to the stage, again beautifully blending the magnitude of this occasion with the unity of our community.
From fifth-generation Las Vegans to the newest resident, the landscape here is one of inclusion and welcoming, of diversity and progress and growth. We've seen what kind of community this is, and the recent tragic events that occurred here showed the world. The world watched, the world grieved with you, and the world was inspired by your courage, your compassion, and your actions.
Joining the stage were Mayor Carolyn Goodman and Clark County Commission Chairman Steve Sisolak.
It is good to be wearing red in a black and silver world, because this is the heartbeat of Las Vegas, and we welcome our Raider family here.
Mayor Goodman went on to proclaim November 13th, 2017, Las Vegas Raiders Day.
The Las Vegas Raiders and Las Vegas will undoubtedly be the envy of professional sport teams in cities throughout the land.
A second turn of the dirt and a final video. Everyone who attended the ceremony agreed when it comes to throwing a party, no one does it like Las Vegas. It lived up to something the late, great owner Al Davis used to love to say, just win.
To see you all in those silver and black uniforms and have you all individually introduced to the roar of the crowd.
Well, as referenced several times during that groundbreaking ceremony, the tragedy of October 1st. It's something that sent our community reeling, but it also brought us closer together. Right now, Sue Levitt is going to tell us about the Community Healing Garden, which was a result of the October 1st shooting, how it came together through hundreds of loving volunteer hands.
Here on the corner of Casino Center in Charleston, what used to be an empty dirt lot is now filled with volunteers coming together from all over our city.
It's to help us heal, help Las Vegas heal, help the city just heal. We all need healing in some way, and this is going to be a way that we can give back to that. That's exactly what it's for.
Daniel and Jay are both owners of Stone Rose Landscaping. Monday, after the tragic event on the Strip, they met for breakfast to map out their work week, but just couldn't go on like normal, so they came up with an idea.
Daniel and I sat down at a table with a napkin and scribbled this out, and it's basically a real simple garden.
Jay took his idea to our city attorney, who happens to be one of his good friends.
This is literally where it started. I look as best as possible. But this is what Jay brought to us at 4 o'clock in the afternoon on Monday.
It's got a wall that we're going to create out of pallets where people can write messages and attach it to the wall. It's going to have a central tree in the middle of it, the Tree of Life. It turns out Siegfried and Roy donated the tree for us, so we have a beautiful tree for that. It's going to have 58 trees that'll be planted, one for each victim of this tragedy.
And by 4 o'clock that afternoon, it was sketched out on a cocktail napkin, so to speak, and approved and done.
And that next morning I called every contractor, everybody in town I know, and they're all here.
By early Wednesday morning, construction was underway.
We lost a dear friend in my office and a personal friend as well. And I know from my own perspective to be out here and be in this is great. I can only imagine all the other people and how they feel as well. This is a healing project. It's the best of the city of Las Vegas.
Yeah, we gotta go down that way.
It didn't take long for people living in the area to take notice.
A tree being planted is a whole different thing for us.
What did you think?
I just wanted to stop and take a picture of life being planted in a time like this.
Cafecito? Cafe? With all the energy and the love going on here, I had to be part of it. So today I handed out 25 cups of coffee. I'll make another pot when it's done.
Thank you, my man.
Each day, the crowd of volunteers grew.
What happened on Sunday just struck so close to home. It was just right in our backyard. I just wanted to do our part for the community. I'm going to come here like every time I see it. I'm going to be really proud that I helped out.
From UNLV students to babies, everyone was welcome and came out to help.
Man, she's adorable. How old?
She's 4 months.
How adorable.
Yeah.
That's great. Talk about raising them right, huh?
When Jay said we're going to do this all with private donations, we're not going to charge you for the labor or charge you for anything. My whole company, we're taking off the week to do this project. And he said, we have Star Nursery. Then he called up and said we had Moon Valley. Then he called up and said it was Siegfried and Roy donating the Tree of Life. Then we have Ewing doing the irrigation. And then we had, and the list goes on and on and on. And today, just a few moments ago, the Love Store next door bought pizzas for everybody. This is what's going on. This is just about as organic and genuine as it comes.
There should be someone laying around.
By Friday morning, things were really taking shape with the help of hundreds working nonstop for 3 days straight to make sure the garden would be ready to open Friday evening.
Wow. Oh, that is this Friday. Wow. That just gave me all the chills. Thank you. Wow. Thank you, City of Las Vegas.
And just in time for First Friday, the garden was ready to be dedicated.
Usually when I'm speaking at an event, I'm dressed in a suit, but today I'm wearing the clothes I wore all day or for most of this week, working in the amazing garden you see behind you.
Hundreds of people came out to walk through the garden and to visit the Remembrance Wall, paying respect to those who lost their lives. Each of the 58 trees had a single white balloon flown above. Therapy dogs were flown in from around the country and have been visiting schools, first responders, hospitals, and now here tonight for the Healing Park dedication to lend emotional support to our city. It was a night to remember, one we will never forget.
These were beautiful people who came here to enjoy a festival. And a festival of life and music and happiness. And that will never leave this place. We will always be that place. We will always be caring. We will always be full of love. If there is hatred, it will not be tolerated in this community. Thank you. Thank you for this magnificent garden.
Now that the garden is complete and has been dedicated, just a few last final touches. Eventually, this beautiful heart-shaped planter in the center of the garden will be lined with tiles with messages and drawings from people in our community. The tiles and everything about this garden will be a constant reminder of how our community pulled together with strength and unity at such a tragic time. For City Beat, I'm Sue Levitt.
The Community Healing Garden is located on Casino Center in the Arts District. If you haven't been out there, it's really a beautiful place to go and reflect on the 58 people who died that night, but also on all the people who are pulling together to help us heal. When we come back, we're going to take you to a different type of garden, a garden that was started as a grassroots effort and is now getting national attention. Congratulations to our City of Las Vegas Employee of the Month, Deputy City Attorney John Rodella. John handles many complex legal documents and opinions for the city's real estate division. He works under critical deadlines and never fails to meet them. One recent example of John's great work is the lease agreements for the new Strong Start Academies. These preschool centers are a large part of the city's efforts to provide learning to children before they enter the Clark County School District. Under a very tight time frame, John was able to make sure the agreements were executed so that the 2 Strong Start Academies could open for the 2017-2018 school year. For helping the city meet the needs of our children and their education, we are proud to announce John Radilla, our Employee of the Month.
Hart, what's going on? I'm leaving. Why? What did I do? Not enough. You constantly ignore me. You barely eat anything healthy. You're half as active as you used to be. The pressure is just too much. I quit. Okay, I get it. I'll do better. Just please, don't leave. Okay. But remember, if I go, you go.
Listen to your heart. Don't let it quit on you. Uncontrolled high blood pressure could lead to stroke, heart attack, or death. Get yours to a healthy range before it's too late.
Thanks. Can you believe this guy?
Are you trying to start a wildfire?
Sorry. Pass the honey?
9 out of 10 wildfires are caused by humans.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Welcome back to City Beat from the KCLV TV studios, where we are kicking back and looking back at some of our favorite stories of 2017. You know, a lot of people know that community gardens are very popular in Las Vegas, but one of our gardens is really getting national attention. It's called Vegas Roots. 7 years ago, Roz Brooks was given a big empty lot cluttered with debris and told that she could turn it into a community garden. Well, she took that challenge, and now, 7 years later, it's becoming known across the country, thanks to a nationally syndicated show. As soon as you enter Vegas Roots, you can see the love that has gone into this community garden. From the rows and patches of produce to the quirky, creative hand-painted signs. This is a community project that was literally started from scratch by this determined young lady, Rosalind Brooks. She says 7 years ago, a 5-acre lot was donated to her, and she knew she could turn it into a place where people could get hands-on lessons about healthy living and eating.
I walked out on the property, and though it was a dirt lot full of trash and glass and debris, it just felt right. And I said, you know, even though I've never planted a seed, never grown anything, I think I can do this.
Yes, she did. Apparently, she did it so well, word traveled all the way to New York City and the nationally syndicated program called The Chew.
So after 7 years of toiling in the dirt, toiling in the sun and the heat and the bugs, we got a call in April, actually, from The Chew, a NBC talk show, and they called and wanted to know if we wanted them to come out and feature us. So they sent a film crew out here in April and filmed us, and it was amazing.
But wait, there's more. She received another call from the producers just this September, asking her to be a guest on the show.
They wanted me to talk about how to do a garden in your backyard and what are some really simple, cool things to grow. So they flew me there, and I was on the show last week. The most surprising response is that the garden got us here on The Chew. Vegas!
She said she thought she would be nervous, but once she started talking about gardening, and this garden, her passion took over and the jitters just melted away. She knows she probably wasn't invited to the show because she developed the fanciest of gardens. Vegas Roots stands out for another reason. Here, the term community garden is actually just as much about the community as it is about the garden. Just ask Tiffany Vetter.
You learn a lot about yourself and you learn a lot about life while you do it, and you're growing things at the same time.
She leased a plot because she was having little success growing produce in pots at home, but when she started coming here, the bounty she received went way beyond produce.
You learn that failure is okay. You grow from failure, because there's a lot of things that I did wrong on this, and I'm glad that I experienced that, because I grew and I learned, and I can get better at what I'm doing. So I'm not scared of failure anymore.
Stories like Tiffany's are exactly what Roz loves to hear. She loves that children come here and learn about healthy eating, living off the land, and that sometimes a crop may not yield much, but you can always try again. And she truly loves when that lesson isn't lost on the adults. This 5 acres taught her that 7 years ago.
Because I've been able to take a dirt lot and turning into something amazing, I can do that with every single area of my life. Anything that I want to do, I can just take that thought and make that thought turn into a thing.
Vegas Roots Community Garden is located at 715 North Tonopah. You know, we live in a beautiful area of the country. The desert has its own beauty, and of course we're surrounded by mountains. And not too far from Las Vegas, there are national parks. One of the closest is Zion National Park. Even though it's close, that doesn't mean that every child gets a chance to visit a park like that. So Councilman Ricky Barlow decided that some of our city kids deserved a chance to do just that. With the sun barely breaking the horizon, buses and breakfast were arriving at Doolittle Community Center. About 150 local elementary school children followed. This was going to be the very first time for this event, the 1 Million African American Youth in a Park program. The destination? Zion National Park.
So glad to be here. What a blessing and honor to have an opportunity to take our young people to a national park.
Councilman Ricky Barlow was the organizer for this event that took, well, nearly a year to organize. There was breakfast before boarding the bus, lists to check and double check, chaperones to gather.
We want all the chaperones, everybody that's going to be a chaperone, kind of come close up here to the front door.
And even specially made t-shirts for each and every student. And while getting it all together here at Doolittle looked a little like herding cats, the group did manage to get going quickly.
1, 2, 3.
3 bus loads headed to Utah, and within a few hours, they arrived.
Get out the backpacks here.
After a short stop at the amphitheater and some important safety tips and lectures from the park rangers, it was off to the trails.
All right, you ready for an adventure? Yeah! Let's do it! Look at this one right here, on your animal tracks. Look at the clue.
Councilman Barlow says many of these kids have never been out of their neighborhoods, much less out of Las Vegas or Nevada. That's why he picked Zion National Park.
I figured that this would be a close enough proximity to take the kids outside of the state, expanding their horizon in relation to them being outside of their neighborhood, outside of the city, and also having an opportunity to really expand their mindset in relation to what the rest of the world looks like.
You couldn't help but smile at the children's excitement of seeing a squirrel, a deer, a rushing cool stream, and nothing but trees and mountains as far as they could see.
They have an opportunity to smell, touch, feel, see the natural beauty of this beautiful natural landscape right here in the United States of America and right in Las Vegas' backyard.
The students were given notebooks to document their experience here, but long after those notebooks are frayed and faded, it's not likely the memories made here will ever fade. Those 150 students were able to take that trip thanks to the National Park Foundation's program called 1 Million African American Youth in a Park. When we come back, we're going to take a walk on the wild side. Not wild like a state park, a whole different kind of wild. You'll see what we mean.
Cook foods to the right temperature using a food thermometer. 3,000 Americans will die from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
Okay, Simon, what do people wear?
Clothes.
That's right. So it's important to learn how to dress yourself. Here's how it's done. Shirt, underwear, pants, socks, shoes. Underwear, always first, name tag on the back. Then pants and shirt. Go ahead and put this on. Now with the shirt, you want to make sure the first button's right or you have to start all over again, okay? Socks left on left, right on right. Tying the shoes, we're gonna take the laces, we're gonna cross them over, we're gonna turn it around where the bunny goes down in the hole, pull it tight, and bunny ears. Got it?
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain.
Welcome back to City Beat from the KCLV TV studios, where we are kicking back and looking back at some of our favorite stories of 2017. Now, this one frightened me. It's called Fear of the Walking Dead Survival. Now, here's how it works. It's on Fremont Street Experience. You arrive at the exhibit and you're briefed by the military that zombies have taken over the building. But they tell you if you can make it to the roof, you can escape via helicopter. You're taken inside, you're sanitized, you are scanned and locked in a cell away from the zombies. Once in that cell, however, you are told that the zombies now outnumber the humans. But if you can still get to the roof, you may be able to escape. After a very frightening elevator ride and a harrowing 3D shuttle bus, you get to walk free. Or do you?
Look for any of these signs or symptoms inside. Bites or scratches, skin discoloration, fever, glazed eyes, limited motor control, skin rash.
Right. We were notified of your arrival. You've done the right thing coming here today. Inside, you will be tested for signs of the virus, which we suspect is causing all the chaos that is happening outside. Once you are inside, you will be protected. But in order to do so, we require your cooperation.
The roof of the building. There'll be a chopper there waiting to evacuate people. But you have to hurry. It won't be there for long. It's taking so long.
Didn't make it out alive. I'm just kidding. I got out of there. That was my makeup, courtesy of the one and only Steve Horlock. Well, that does it for another City Beat. In fact, that does it for another year of City Beats. It was a year of ups and downs. We want to thank you for being with us through it all. So here's to 2018 and only good things for everyone in our community.